Jey Uso hits a solo speed bump on the road to SummerSlam. Cameron Grimes is no longer going to the moon. He's going straight to catering. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to catering. LA Knight, yeah. And Sheamus with a gnarly botch. And Shotzi really wants to shave the head of Bayley. Oh, and the Hurt Business just got a huge upgrade to the Street Business. We talk all about it in today's Amped Up podcast. SummerSlam Saturday, August the 5th, 2023. Featuring the Smackdown review, the Go-Home Show to SummerSlam for the 4th of August, 2023. I'll be your host, the ever-so-polarizing BC Amplified. Grab your beverage, your double shot extra coffees, and let's get amplified. LA Knight, yeah, versus Sheamus starts the show. All or at least a lot of the participants in the Slim Jim 25-man Battle Royal for SummerSlam, say that 10 times fast, they're all at ringside. Even Raw talent like The Miz. Now, if you're wondering what you get if you win the Slim Jim Battle Royal, well, why would you even have to ask? It's one of the highest prizes you can get in professional wrestling. In fact, you do not become a professional wrestler unless you want this prize. You want to achieve this level of success. And that is a year's worth of supply of Slim Jims. So, of course, everybody is going to try to win this 25-man over-the-top Battle Royal. Now, in all seriousness, the crowd is electric for LA Knight from the jump last night. That's the positive, that's the plus. The negative, the minus, these two, Sheamus and LA Knight, they just do not have good chemistry. There was a bunch of botches, including a scary-looking fall from the top turnbuckle all the way to the outside. And I'm talking both dudes. LA Knight tries to leap onto the top rope to suplex Sheamus. Sheamus looks like he doesn't even want to help LA Knight reach the top rope. He's as deep as can be in that turnbuckle. LA Knight falls backwards. LA Knight says, screw it, I'm going to try it again. He goes back up, gets to the top, goes to take Sheamus for the suplex. Sheamus is having none of it. Sheamus is losing his footing. Sheamus can't even stand up. Sheamus is exhausted at this point. So LA Knight is like, oh shit, I'm going ass over tea kettle the other way. And that's what happens. LA Knight just totally dive bombs to the outside himself. And Sheamus falls to the apron and to the outside. This was a mess. One of the worst botches you could possibly have by, ironically, two dudes in there that both are trying to show the company why they should be pushed to the moon. No pun intended over to Cameron Grimes, which, by the way, we'll get over to Cameron Grimes' booking in a few minutes. That's a whole nother story. But with these two dudes, they're really trying to... You gotta question why they're even in the match. This is odd to even have this match in the first place, guys. Sheamus was wrestling as a face for the longest time. LA Knight is one of the most over dudes in the company for the past 7 months. And as of last week, there's no more question as if he's a face, right? Taking out Hit Row. So you have face versus face leading into a battle royal for no purpose whatsoever, other than to dilute any momentum that one of these guys has. One is going to get way more of a reaction than the other. So if it's LA Knight, Sheamus is going to get shafted in the process. It's going to dilute his momentum, and that's exactly what happened. And I guess we shouldn't be too surprised, right? Sheamus has been very outspoken as of late on the direction of creative for him. Recently in an interview, we covered this in yesterday's podcast, calling creative for him a dead end. They had nothing for him. He was frustrated, even pissed off because he gained organic momentum after Clash at the Castle, and creative said, now can you sit in catering, please? He's been very outspoken. LA Knight, the whole wrestling world boggled that he has not had good booking in the last 7 months, that he's been super over. So what do? They take these two dudes that are obviously frustrated and need to be booked properly, and they put them in there together as faces. So right from the beginning, this was botched booking. I guess we shouldn't be shocked that same mojo followed them into the ring. But this was just not good, man. Luckily, it looked anyway like both were okay after that scary botch. But that was just one of the bigger ones of many smaller ones that BC noticed in this match. They probably shouldn't have a one-on-one encounter anytime in the near future. Now, aside from that, after an all-out brawl involving everybody at ringside, sparked by Austin Theory, by the way, the U.S. champion, which came out of nowhere. I think he took out Escobar, and that started everybody brawling. Knight was able to then hit Blunt Force Trauma, his finisher, for the victory over Sheamus. That's one of, if not the first, SmackDown matchup for LA Knight, I believe, and it is a victory. So that's big for him. Maybe it's a good sign of good things to come. But here's the thing. History shows you don't want to win these stupid battle royals because nothing good comes from it. Nothing good comes from winning these battle royals. Just go to the laundry list of people that have won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And that'll tell you exactly what happens afterwards with their booking. I don't know if it's bad mojo or just the jinx they can't shake off. But LA Knight clearly has to win for that big pop in that stadium for tens of thousands of people and just for his own momentum. But I can't tell you that I would be that upset if maybe we don't have him win that battle royal. Maybe something massive happens with him storyline-wise. I don't know. I'm starting to think otherwise. Because winning these battle royals, man, bad mojo afterwards for these dudes. And I don't know if we want that for LA Knight. But this looks like it's leading that way. Takes out Sheamus, Blunt Force Trauma. Match again, pretty messy. Michael Cole says repeatedly in this match, and I quote, LA Knight's style isn't pretty, but it gets the job done. I'm going to say that again. Michael Cole repeatedly in this match said LA Knight's style isn't pretty, but it gets the job done. I guess the internal belief within the company is that Knight isn't that great of a wrestler. And even though BC begs to differ, that match didn't do him any favors. It's almost like Sheamus was sandbagging him and deliberately making Knight look bad. But Sheamus is a legit pro, and I believe he was just exhausted. So the optics were bad, right? It's almost like I remember in AEW, Thunder Rosa completely sandbagging Marina Shafir. Didn't want to work for her, with her, or for her, make her look good. It's odd, too. Thunder Rosa also did that with Evilise, I remember. And Evilise doesn't like that, so Evilise started doing it back. And that was on live TV on an AEW Dynamite. And Evilise and Thunder Rosa, and I'm high on Evilise, by the way. But I could tell that she wasn't happy with Thunder. So then she started, and guys, on live TV, they just stopped working. You can't make this up. And then you wonder why, unfortunately, my girl Evilise is no longer there. And then Thunder Rosa was not too well liked in the locker room. It's because, a lot of people thought it was just like Britt Baker and the Mean Girls were just, ganging up on her. No, it was, the way you conduct your business time after time. Yeah, that's going to make the rounds, man. So it just reminds me of that. It was like Sheamus was going out of his way to make LA Knight look bad, but that's not the case. He's too much of a professional. I think he was literally, if you watch the match back, he was just so exhausted halfway through this thing. I don't understand. Maybe he's just kind of not giving up, but just doesn't care as much. Again, I just told you guys his recent interview. He is pissed off at WWE. And feels that they're missing the boat on giving him proper creative. And then they just throw him in there with it's odd, right? He said in that recent interview, guys, Sheamus said that he feels creative and WWE missed out on organic momentum that he created after the Clash at the Castle with Gunther. So he feels the company missed out on, his words, organic momentum. Isn't it funny, or not so much, that they put him in the dude with organic momentum now, and that dude beat him? So, if you know that creatively going into it, maybe subconsciously you don't care as much anymore. And you're not too quick to take that suplex from the top rope. Not necessarily to make LA Knight look bad, but you just don't care. You're not in no hurry to do these moves. Because it's leading to a big fat L and probably nothing but catering in your future. Subconsciously, you never know, man. But I just believe Sheamus was just exhausted, it looked like. LA Knight and him just didn't mesh. And that was your first match. It's a shame. It's a shame, because that's LA Knight's first big match on SmackDown. You really want it to go flawlessly. Sheamus in there. You think it's got a chance, but there's also a big chance it's going to go off the rails. Unfortunately, it was the latter. Now, the Brawling Brutes stayed out there. The next matchup was Butch and Holland of the Brawling Brutes taking on Anderson and Gallows of the OC. Now, the match was thrown out when Ford and Dawkins of the Street Profits, they hit the ring and they drop all four dudes, the Brutes and the OC. Right where they stood, dropped them like a stack of bricks. Bobby Lashley then hits the top of the ramp to a loud Bobby, Bobby chant. That was pretty cool to hear because this guy has needed proper booking from day one when he returned, and he got the exact opposite from day one. There was a moment where he had Alexander and Benjamin and MVP with him called The Hurt Business, and it was just ended. Snap of a finger, blink of an eye, drop of a hat out of nowhere for no reason. It was not justified, and nobody was ever the same afterwards. So it was cool to hear that Bobby chant. Profits join him at the top of the ramp, little pose down as the crowd chants Bobby. It's clear we got a Hurt Biz 2.0 on our hands. This could be something if they don't mess it up. This could be something if they put care, energy, time, and resource into this. We don't want a bootleg or a knockoff Hurt Business 2.0 type situation. And you say, well, BC, this is a massive upgrade. No offense to Shelton, Benjamin, and Alexander. This is the Street Profits, and this is exactly what they need. So this is an upgrade. It doesn't matter if it's an upgrade. You still don't want to just be the next version of. Let's be different. I don't care if they just call them the business. The Street Business. I don't give a shit. But I hope they have their own identity. Otherwise, you just took out two dudes and you replace them with two other dudes. It's like a bad sitcom, right? We'll take out this dude, we'll replace him with this dude, and nobody will notice. I hope they have their unique personality. I understand it's an upgrade, and trust me, the Street Profits need this more just as badly as Bobby Lashley. Because the Street Profits were on a one-way lane into Nowheresville. I'm telling you right now, man, if they're on a road to SummerSlam, that was a detour. They took the wrong turn. They were never going to show up in Detroit. Street Profits were never going to be on this year's SummerSlam card or next year's with the way they're booked and with the lack of care. Nobody cares about your stupid red cups falling on your dome pieces on your entrance and hopping around like a bunch of cheerleading misfits. It's time to get serious. It's time to get down to business. It's time to do a better version of Hurt Business if you're going to do it. But I'm on board with that. Let me make this clear. Street Profits, Bobby Lashley, after seeing them three at the top of that ramp, after seeing this new amplified side of the Street Profits, pretty damn cool. I could have done without Bobby coming out smiling like he is MVP or like he's a manager. Bobby could have came out a little bit more serious to make everybody know that they're done with the improper booking. They're done with being creative into a brick wall. They're done with all that. Now they're taking it upon themselves and into their own hands to actually conquer WWE and the world of pro wrestling. That's what I would have loved to have seen a little bit more when Bobby came out. Aside from that, this could be something special. A few weeks ago when they were getting in that limousine, and I said, wow, months off for Bobby, and this is how they bring him back? And the Street Profits are just jumping into a limousine? What are we going to do, a Hurt Business bootleg version? But now, just a few weeks later, and seeing them, and if they can keep up this trajectory, this could be special. It's exactly what all three dudes need, I'm telling you that right now. But do they have a plan? Or is this where their plan ended? All of the creative was put into just putting them together. Because if that's the case, this will fall to the wayside before the movement even begins. Hour 2 then ends with Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman with an in-ring promo. Heyman shows a video package of what tribal warfare is. And all it is telling you exactly what BC told you it was. This whole SummerSlam match, the championship, the title, is secondary. It's an afterthought. It's a cherry on top of the sundae. But the bulk of that sundae, the main course meal, is the red tribal lei that Roman Reigns wears around his neck and shoulders. And that's what this is all about. The tribal chief, who should be carrying that lei. And that is what they're fighting for more than the title. And that is why BC has said like a broken record 1,000,000 times, and I'll probably have to say it 1,000,000 more times. That's why he should have dropped the title at Mania, because nothing he has done since calls for him to have the title. He goes on vacation for 2 months. He then has 2 straight tag matches at 2 straight pay-per-views. And now, after 5 months, he is finally having his first title defense. And it's against his own family member in a bloodline implosion storyline where the main prize is not even the title, it's the red tribal lei. Nothing Roman has done needed him to have that title. That's why everybody can have an opinion. Oh, it's best Cody needs struggle and adversity. Never heard that term until before WrestleMania, go figure. But apparently in 2023, that's what wrestlers need. So we call this audible, and Roman has it, and some fans say that was the right call, BC. Was it the right call? Because nothing I've seen creatively for Cody or Roman makes sense. This whole summer-long feud with Cody and Brock makes 0 sense, because still to this day, Michael Cole tells you every week, Michael Cole or a Kevin Patrick or a Corey Graves, they tell you, there's no purpose to the story. We still don't know why Brock is so angry at Cody. Oh, I'll tell you why. Because originally he was going for the title. And he couldn't go for Roman because that was the stipulation in the last match. So he waited, and then Cody got it, and then he could go for it. But the audible and keeping it on Roman, they still went with the plan anyway. So you have a summer month feud with no purpose to the story. So no matter how good the feud even could have been, and it wasn't, Brock shows up once a month and he breaks the arm of Cody. By this time, Cody Rhodes has had 87 broken arms in the past 87 months. Slight exaggeration. But the point is, even if this was a flawless feud, it still would not be captivating and it still wouldn't be justified or correct because there was never a purpose. There was never reasoning to the story. Every story needs a plot. Every story needs a purpose. And no, nothing makes sense after WrestleMania. So what do you do now with this tribal warfare video package? It is showing you that this red tribal lei means everything. There is dissension within the family, and they have to decide who the real tribal chief is, and you do that by winning the respect, the admiration, the acclaim, the esteem, the approval of your family. That's what this whole match, story, and feud is really all about, that red tribal lei that Roman Reigns carries. The title is an afterthought, and that's why this is not the time for Jey Uso to be the one to dethrone the championship from Roman Reigns. It's just not. You may want it to be, you may think it is, that's fine. But in the realm of right and wrong, it's just not. You do not pass up Sami Zayn in Montreal or John Cena or Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. From a Big E to a Cesaro, from a Kevin O, everybody in between. to get to Jey Uso when he's really fighting for the family in the tribal lay. And that, after 3 years, that's where the title changes hands. This soon after we just saw Roman get pinned, by the way. So it's even more less impactful. It's diluted. It's devalued. We just saw Roman get pinned last PPV, PLE. Now all of a sudden he's losing again, but it's the red tribal lay that means even more. Jey Uso has told you that. Jey Uso told you, interview after interview, he never even saw himself as the guy. He never thought about singles world titles. That's why he wanted tribal warfare. He went to the ancestor. He went to his family and he said, this needs to be done. He didn't go to them and say, I need to win the world title. Jey Uso will be a feel-good moment after he wins, like anybody at this point. After 3 years, Drew Gulak would get a pop. And then afterwards, coming out of Detroit, and this is coming from a massive Usos fan. That is my favorite, personal favorite tag team, the Usos and the Briscoes. And nowadays, I can only see one of those teams compete. So, as a massive Uso supporter, for BC to tell you that no, Jey Uso has no business taking the title from Roman in Detroit, because I'm thinking about what's to come ahead, future-wise, with this company, and Jey Uso with that championship. Jey Uso. What are you setting up from that? A Roman rematch and Solo Sikoa. Well, we just saw that match, Jey versus Solo, last night. You took Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania moment and Sami Zayn's Montreal moment for Jey Uso in Detroit? No, come on, man. We'll get to that main event in a little bit too, by the way. But Paul Heyman shows you this video package, and it's everything BC told you SummerSlam was about for these two. It's not about the title, guys. It's about the red tribal lay. And Jey Uso said, when he was in there with Solo and Paul Heyman last night, he said, the family will be there. So he's telling you that expect to see a lot of family. I don't know if you're also going to see a Tamina Snuka and a Nia Jax, a little bit of Afa, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Maybe if you smell. No, I'm playing. I don't think you're going to see The Rock, but hey, you could, man. Detroit, massive event, tens of thousands of people in the stadium. The Rock has surprised people in Boston, Mass, during a dark segment, not even on TV. He surprised Brooklyn on a Monday Night Raw. But expect a lot of family there, he tells Paul Heyman and Solo's own family. Of course, Solo, the little brother, IRL of Jey Uso. So the video package plays. Jey Uso tells Heyman that he will win SummerSlam. He will lead the family. He will take the title. And Roman will get pinned again. Jey Uso then super kicks Solo Sikoa. Solo was trying to tell Paul Heyman to get out of the ring so he could take care of Jey Uso. Jey uses that little distraction to super kick Solo Sikoa out of the ring. The two again meet later in the night for the main event. We will cover that in just a couple of minutes. But that ended hour number 2. Kind of adding a little bit to that main event. And I guess trying to sell you a little bit more on SummerSlam. Now for hour 2, Austin Theory defeats Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes' whole motto is to the moon. But no, he's going straight to catering if this booking keeps up. Now you say, BC, that's just 2 losses in a row. One of them was a fatal 4-way, yes, but he did take that L. 4 dudes, he took the L. So it's an L even if he didn't take the pin. A fatal 4-way, triple threat, doesn't matter. If you're in a tag match and your tag team partner loses, you still lost. But no, that fatal 4-way, he actually looked up at the lights. So he beats Baron Corbin in record time. You think they got something for him. Then he disappears for 2 months. Then he comes back. He loses a fatal 4-way, which he should have never been in, nonsensically. And then he loses here against Austin Theory for no reason. Cameron Grimes defeated via the A-Town Down finisher. Post-match, Santos Escobar takes out Austin Theory to hype up next Friday's U.S. title match between Theory and Escobar. I do not understand this new thing they're doing in WWE where every new wrestler has to have struggle and adversity and a gnarly losing streak a boot. Braun Breaker, Wesley, Grayson Waller, Cameron Grimes, and many others have just been losing left and right, it seems. And it seems that way is because they are losing every fucking match. Is that supposed to get them over? Get us cheering? Care about them? Because BC must have missed the memo. Grimes is better than that. Grayson Waller effect is next. This thing was all over the place. Io is too short for the chair, so Bayley literally has to help her up. It was kind of funny, like a mother propping her kid up in a booster seat. And then Zelina Vega drives Shotzi's tank down the ramp. Shotzi, a head-shaven Shotzi, appears in the ring and chases Bayley away with hair clippers. Back in the ring following a commercial break, Io versus the aforementioned Zelina Vega. She's gotten out of her tank. She is now in the ring with Io, and they have an official match. Zelina defeats Io Shirai Sky via pinfall after hitting a badass Code Red. Io defeated by Zelina Vega. Io, your Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Your MITB victor. Flat on her back again. This losing streak, struggle and adversity before she gets the title, I guess, right? That's the new term in 2023 by pro wrestling fans. Struggle and adversity. You need to see them lose 107 times before they can pick up a W. BC. I'm not going to shit on Zelina, though. I've wanted good booking for her. I want her to get better every week, and I feel that those things are happening. Better booking, and she's getting better. Do I want to see Io just in there with a briefcase losing so simplistically? No. And when I say simplistically, let's go back into this match real quick, right? Io was about to hit the over the moonsault finisher. But Shotzi and Bayley appeared at the top of the ramp brawling. Shotzi, once again with the hair clippers, is about to shave Bayley's dome piece, but Bayley is able to escape. Now, for the second straight week, they had Io in the ring screaming for Bayley to come back. Io's in a match, just like last week. She is in a match. Why do you need Bayley at ringside so bad? And she's in control, by the way. It's not like she's getting her ass whooped and she's like, Bayley, help. No, Io is in complete control, about to hit her finisher again. And she is screaming for Bayley to come back. Was she left in a grocery store as a child? Did her parents forget to pick her up at school and she was there overnight and now she has those abandonment issues? I have no idea. But she needs Bayley by her side. And watching Bayley help her up in the chair last night, Grayson Waller's Waller effect chair on the set, watching Bayley help her up like she was putting Io into literally like a booster seat, like a high chair. I mean, maybe it is a mother-daughter type situation between the two, and they're really playing that up. But it's making Io look so stupid. And this is one of the best wrestlers in the world, lady-wise. Io is that good. But to be screaming for Bayley, and that's how she's been losing these matches, man, you can't make them look that stupid. Especially if you're putting a briefcase on them, which was weird from begin with, because they had her go into a championship match with Bianca Belair at Backlash, Puerto Rico, and they had Io lose to the champion. Then a month later, they have Io in a briefcase that says she can have a title match in the future. Then why give her a title match before you put the briefcase on her? It's ass backwards. This isn't even nitpicking. This is common sense and logic I'm spitting off in this podcast. You know, it reminds me of Flip Flops Flanagan. You guys know Flip Flops Flanagan, also known as Matthew P.H. Riddle. You know, Scooter McGee. Okay, Flip Flops Flanagan used to scream, Randy, Randy. He always needed Randy Orton by his side. It started to get real weird. And then one Monday, they had him go into the middle of the ring, and he cut a promo about how his dad left him one day. He went to go get milk and he never came back. And because of that, he has abandonment issues. So that's why he always calls out for Randy. Hey, where's Randy? Right? I mean, he literally told the story. His promo was about how he has abandonment issues and he needs Randy. It was really weird. I'm starting to see a little something of that with Io and Bayley. We then go into the main event, Solo Sikoa versus Jason Uso. A couple of commercial breaks. I never really got a flow into this match. And when it was all said and done, Solo is just pinned. I believe he went for the spike. It turned into maybe a super kick, then a spear, and then a frog splash. I believe that was the end sequence. This is all coming top of the dome piece. No notes on this match. I'm just trying to recall. I think it was a frog splash after the spear, and that was a 1-2-3 match done. And then post-match, Solo is all pissed off because he realizes he just lost a nonsensical match. So he attacks Jey Uso, and that just leads to him getting his ass whooped even more. Steel chair to the back, to the dome piece, and Jey Uso celebrates us off the air. And that's your go-home show for SmackDown and your WWE go-home show as a whole. Raw, SmackDown, doesn't matter. That's the go-home show. Tonight is SummerSlam. So it's, I remember Cody Rhodes defeated Solo Sikoa right before WrestleMania, and that did him no favors. So I don't know, Jey Uso beating Solo, it pretty much sets the table. I don't know how they do this. You gotta obviously protect Jey Uso. He's super over. He always kind of was. But this is another level. You want Jey Uso coming out of Detroit in a good way, but there's no way he can be coming out with that championship. You could have the whole family out there, though, and it becomes a big thing, and Jey does beat him. I don't see how 3 years of Roman as champion was for that moment. I don't. I think there's other ways you can go about it. I think there's other ways you should be going about it. Solo Sikoa losing another match. Careful, because he's starting to look like that guy, He's got the look. He's talking the good game. He'll beat the shit out of you with his buddies. But when he's in those matches, he's getting beat, and you got to protect him a little bit more. Otherwise, after time goes by, he will start to feel very average. And there's been people saying that Solo should be the champion. Not Jey, not any of these guys. Solo in the future should be the one to take it off of Roman. First of all, I disagree wholeheartedly. Second of all, even if he's booked pristinely, I still disagree. And third of all, he's nowhere near being booked pristinely. He's becoming average. These losses will stack up. Even if you don't think people are realizing it or keeping that inventory, subconsciously, we are. Jey Uso takes us off the air. Roman Reigns cannot work this Friday night because that's not in his schedule. And before we take off, guys, a big shout out to my Amplified Unit Gold member, channel member, Clutch City Fan, who in yesterday's podcast threw BC a coffee through the super thanks button down below. Never needed, always appreciated, of course. Clutch City Fan, been with the channel way before we had channel memberships. I think that's only a 7-month thing as it is. Clutch City Fan, way before that. Chucked a coffee over to BC, so I want to give a shout out over to Clutch City Fan, and he says, unfortunately, I won't be able to do the live stream with you guys due to my coworker not being able to switch shifts with me, but I'll be watching the next day at the same time I watch the show. Much love and respect, BC. Red Team, go! You know it, man. And gold unit as well. I see that big gold card after your name, Clutch City Fan. I appreciate it, man. Go make your money, rock out at work, kick ass. The stream and what Clutch City Fan is talking about, guys, I hope to be live with you guys tonight for the good, the bad, and the ugly review and live reaction watch along of SummerSlam. I hope to do that live tonight. That's the goal anyway. And the chat will be channel members only because we haven't done one of those in a few weeks, and that's one of the perks, one of the benefits of being a channel member is you guys get the chat to yourself and it's easier for BC to shoot the shit with you guys and rock out. So we haven't done one in a while. So that's what sucks, Clutch City fan. You are gold status, I see. So you won't be up in the chat, but I appreciate it, man. It'll be up. It will be up on the channel tomorrow. So even if you don't catch the stream live, that goes for any of you guys. Maybe you're going to watch just the live broadcast with Michael Cole calling the action. That's totally fine. It'll be up on the channel the next day. If you want, swing by, say what's up a few times during the night, even if you're going to watch the live broadcast. Every match, we put into the tally of good, bad, and ugly. So after every match even, come back, see what we're putting it. If you don't want to hang out the whole event, you know what I mean? A lot of people do that. They stop in 10, 20, 30 times during the night. BC, what's up, man? How do you got the night looking, you know? And we got 27 uglies, 12 bads, 1 good. But in all seriousness, man, if you guys can hang out tonight, awesome, man. Stop by the channel, say what's up. But it's going to be a big night. It's the second biggest event of this company's calendar year. And we hope that the boys and gals go out there and they rock out. Guys, that's what I got for you now. We're going to get some coffee, a lot of coffee. We're going to take care of a lot of business, not her business. Street business. Now, we're going to take care of a lot of business. And we will regroup and come right back, hopefully tonight, live for SummerSlam. Until next time. And there will be a next time. Top guy, I'm out. BC saying check you.